So it's still only 10 in the morning of the day of the second ceremony tonight. Just doing a video out of boredom really. I'll just show the jungle trail. I thought I'd do a bit. That's the walk back to the Maloka and the main area and our cabins. And I'm going to go and visit the, I can find the big trees where the elves live. It says, Prohibido el paso, solo personal autorizado. As if there's anyone else going to be here who's not authorized. I don't know what that is for, because this pathway is literally just splits and then it comes back round in a loop, so you come back this way anyway. So I thought I'd just come out for a bit of a walk. It's been raining most of the morning, which is nice lying in bed. It rained really heavily early in the morning, which was nice to hear. So you can see here that the path splits. We went that way around this way, so it says trail head. Oh. So go either way, it doesn't matter because it just comes around in a circle. It's quite a long walk. I don't know, spider's web in my hair. Head crossing the trail. So I've got a bit of Apache with me. If there's any mozzies, I might smoke some Apache and then make a little offering to one of the big trees as I come across them. So it's just the only walk. I mean, we've got a jetty that goes out to the lake, which is really nice when it's sunny, but there's a lot of mosquitoes down there, obviously being on the lake. So unless it's really hot and sunny midday, you just, once it gets to sort of 5, even if it's still really hot, the mozzies there's a couple of hammocks out on the jetty end, and it's a nice place to be. There's a lot of butterflies down there and dragonflies to see, but the mozzies just make it, and there's some nasty, horrible bitey fly things down there that weren't mozzies. They were like greenish, I don't know, just little, like big fat mozzies with stripes. Not very pleasant. So you can't stay down there too long. Be nice to sit on the end and fish though. And then the other, hardly super interesting, but I was puzzled. In the middle of the lake, all day yesterday I could see something white, and I thought it's a post or something sticking up. And it's just there all day. And yet this morning when I looked out the window, it's not a post at all, it's a stalk, because it was actually right by the edge of the lake this morning and you could make out its yellow beak. So there's this solo stork or heron or whatever you want to call him, who's just there on his own. He's not with, any other birds in the whole of the lake. So I suppose you get, in all aspects of nature, you get loners. Whether it's through preference or there's a big beautiful one of those semi-electric blue butterflies. If you still, I missed him. We saw one earlier by the Maloka. So this is one of the big trees. Isn't it fascinating? Just a beautiful thing with a great big, so you can see why this is probably thought of as having little elves living in it. Huge big tree. So come and connect with the tree and thank it for being a guardian of the Maloka and the surrounding area and the forest. I bet the aura on this thing is massive. If the Mike was here with the rods to measure this aura, it must be huge. Someone's left a little whatever. So it's not quite the predator tree type, as I call them, with the really wide roots. And if you're seeing that, there's the big beautiful blue. I was hoping he'd come closer. Big electric blue butterfly. He's gone again. Some rather nice coloured orange mushrooms growing on the rotten wood. These strange spongy things, like little tribbles. Soft. Ah, mosquito in my ear. Keep moving. So I've just done a little funny loop as part of that tree area from the trailhead. So I'll head off this way. Now here's one of those trees that's got the wider root system that's thin. Not as spectacular as the big ones, but still wonderful nonetheless. I love these types of trees. Get to the chopper. And here we have, I don't know what it is. Something, it's hard, it's not like it's not a mango. Don't know what it is. Probably something edible for the locals. I have to ask what it is, but fruit dropped from somewhere. So. Really powerful smell of garlic here. And I think this is where we yeah, it's really strong. And I didn't see where the guide was the other day when he cut whatever he cut and had a little sliver of what actually looked like proper garlic. Whereas the other kind of garlic, obviously, I use on my videos is where I've done ajo de selva, which is jungle garlic, which is just a plant, which me and Hyro, you know, that was on the video where he's pulling the roots up out of the ground, and then I had to we scraped the roots and put it in a bowl of water, and then I drank it, which is when I had that was really good for blood cleansing. So there's a hole here that probably belongs to a tarantula or something similar, or whatever. So someone's already cut parts of these roots off. This looks like, I mean, it's a vine that could be anything. I don't think it's ayahuasca. But amazing, really big, thick. You can see the size compared to my hand. It's a really thick vine, but it's been cut off at the bottom. Going up here. There is ayahuasca somewhere on this trail, but it's tiny. It's only a tiny little really small shoot that they showed the other day. I think there's chacruna on the trail as well. We were hanging at the back mainly, so I wasn't really... And Vera was up the front doing the translations for the group with the guide, so I missed quite a lot of what was going on. So... But this is probably be the walk that we do again on the San Pedro ceremony, because obviously it's a well-beaten trail, and so far only that one mosquito. So even despite the wet weather that we've got, it's pretty soaked. It's not that wet. So I've only got trainers on. You see some of the way there's the paths that the squirrely shapes that all the trees can take in their growth. This is much more, to me, it's much more like a European forest with the leaf canopy on the floor and the space. Very similar. I mean, obviously it's still the jungle, and there's a termite nest there. But it's a lot more open than the rainforest around Iquitos on the Amazon up there. I found out as well, Eric told me that the water in front of my window is not the river, it's a lake that's open at one end, and it's wrong on Google Maps too for River Alta. It's not the Rio, it says 1.75 kilometers, which I don't think I can't see that. Maybe it is. I don't think it's that far back to the Maloka. It certainly doesn't feel that far. It's not that long a walk. But yeah, he was saying that on Google Maps, it's actually, they've named the river wrong. It's not the Rio Madre de Dios at all. It's the River Beni. So Google's got it wrong. So, but I mean, you know, they all go down and join the Amazon eventually. So yeah. So it's another one of the larger trees that's got the roots spread out. Not the predator tree though. Very nice nonetheless. There's one that's looks like a load of hatchet marks on it, but they said it's actually natural. It's not from people hacking it with machetes. So. Oh wow, there's a big wasp nest or something up there. Look at that. Maybe you can see that. Try and zoom in. That's about nearly 2 foot long, I guess, that nest. I don't know if it's termites or whether it's a wasp nest. Another bit of a termite's nest there. It looks like it's been abandoned and is breaking apart. So here's the tree with what looks to be the cut marks in it. But the guide said that they're actually natural. Just the way the wood splits, I suppose. The bark breaks off. So here's a big fella. Raining a little bit now again. Another sign of 1.5 kilometers, whatever that means. A huge big termite's nest here. It's a really big fella, that one. That's probably a good 2 to 2.5 feet long, and maybe 1.5 feet diameter. See how the powdering effect of the insects as they start to break down a fallen tree. Or just the fibrous center of a tree, I suppose it is. So here's the beautiful big tree that's sort of centerpiece of this walk, really. It's amazing. The roots are incredible. Look, the way they just fan out, so wide and thin. So this may have been I think this was the tree where the elves live, so just pay my respects. Don't want to upset them, after all, especially on the night of the ceremony. And that's one big tree. Super thick trunk. Wonderful root structure, eh? Get to the chopper. Lovely white colour at the top there. Sort of camouflagey kind of stripes on it. What a beautiful tree. I can't remember. He did say how old it was, I think the other day, or one of them anyway, but I can't remember. The way branches, you know, or small trees can, you know, change their direction. It's pretty crazy. Some more mushrooms here, these little pink parasol ones, look, they're quite pretty. I wonder if they're hallucinogenic or just toxic, or neither. That's a really interesting shaped nest. There's all sorts of weird spirals and spikes on that. I don't know if that's termites or what. Looks like molten chocolate. Strange. Just smoking some Apachos. A bit of deference to the spirit of Mapacho for protecting us in the ceremony and at all times. And this is the other big tree on the journey, particular trail. So that's got another incredible root structure. Looks like a different type again. Wonderful big tree. It's absolutely huge. Well, it's not absolutely huge. I've seen really big ones in the jungle, but big enough. Pretty impressive. I mean, I'm not sure if this might be the one as well that, let's say where the elves live, so. Or the one that sent the policeman nuts for whatever he was trying to do here. It was either damaging or whatever. It's quite a nice long walk, which we'll be doing again at least once more on the walk when we take San Pedro on, which would probably be, it's Monday today, so we've got Monday and then Wednesday ayahuasca, so it'll probably be Friday that we do San Pedro in the morning or lunchtime, and then daytime ceremony, and then come for this probably this walk again, unless they've got another one lined up that they do. I don't know. Part of the big point of the San Pedro walk is to be under the influence of the plant medicine and then really connect with nature, which obviously is not difficult to do in this environment. And these things look like great big hazelnuts for giant squirrels. Presumably from this tree, which is actually some kind of palm. So I don't know what they are. What kind of palm nuts they'd be. So you can see where this tree's fallen and literally pulled up its whole root structure there. Well, obviously not its whole root structure, it's just broken below the surface where this pit is. And there's all its roots. It's just incredible to think of the scale of every tree root structure across a forest the size of the Amazon, you know, which encompasses at least 3 countries, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, 4 countries, Brazil, that I know of, maybe more. And think of the root structure complexity just in a tiny area, and then you think of that multiplied about a couple of billion times across the whole area of the Amazon rainforest, which is absolutely massive. It's bigger than most countries, you know. mean, it takes up probably the northwestern corner of the whole of Brazil, which is a massive country in itself. Truly an immense spread, but even so, as I think I've said before, humans have still managed to cut down 20% of it in the last however many hundreds of years that people have been coming here or living here, either by cutting or by burning, deforestation of some form. And then of course we've got mining, which is also poisoning a lot of the environment now. It's particularly in Brazil, there's like silver and gold mining operations on the rivers, and of course it takes mercury to separate these metals from the rivers and the riverbeds, etc., and the surrounding forest. So you've got the extra pollution factor as well, and of course most of them are illegal too, so they're not fussy about the mess they make, they're just interested in the money. Or maybe it was this tree where the elves live. I don't remember now. This is a pretty long walk. I mean, it probably is 2 kilometers actually around the whole loop, thinking about it. So again, another big, this probably, it's got to be a diameter of probably 1.5 meters to 2 meters across at that point there. Going all the way up. Quite a tree. Someone's lit a candle here and had a little mini ceremony of their own. And ooh, red ants here. I don't know if they're fire ants, but see the spikes, protection of the tree, and then the fire ants themselves, if they are fire ants, or they're just red ants. I don't know if they're fire ants, but look at the teeth on the soldier ant there. Maybe his mandibles. That would be. Where is he? The one with the big head there. That's got quite a nip on him if he bit you. I think you'd feel that one. Or the big termite's nest that's probably fallen out of a tree at some point. More big seed pod type things here. We'll come round, heading back now, the other half of the circle route really. Got the sun to my right, so heading back to the first sign that said head trail. So it's just a nice walk, it probably is 2 k's all told. It's at least half an hour, I suppose. It's probably a frog, not a bird. There's a black and yellow millipede there, look, or centipede. Possibly toxic, who knows? I don't think I'd want a bite from him. And then there's these pretty sharp spikes sticking up out of this fallen fern. So it's probably actually regrowing, and some of those are gonna go into the soil. Oh, and there's a tiny little lizard, look. Tiny little fella. Brown one. He's only about 2 inches long. Little gecko maybe. Oh, and there's a bird. Well, I thought I saw something. It's a little bird. It's going through the undergrowth. Oh, somewhere. Lost him now. I've seen that big blue butterfly 3 or 4 times, but he doesn't settle anywhere long enough to get a good look at him. He's black with the electric blue colour, and he's big. You know, he's probably you know, this kind of diameter wingspan. Beautiful blue, the electric blue. You don't see them that often, the blue ones. A big mushroom sticking up in the path. Got the 1.5-inch diameter head on it. So another big termite's nest here. Quite a big one. Base of the trail, and there's another one of those same type of centipede again. This is a bit different. There's like a trail of sticky slime just hanging down to a blob off the end. It's coming from there. It's just a vine that's been cut for the trail, and then it's got sticky stuff coming off it. I don't know whether it's the vine or whether some insect that's dribbling that stuff down it. Bit of a thunder rumble, which we've had all morning. It's really nice. It's a warm front though, so the rain is just soft. The clouds quite high, bringing just little continuous tiny little drips of rain and the occasional bigger shower. I suppose as we get more and more into the rainy season of December that we're in now, it's the 3rd or 4th today. Must be, is it the 3rd? 4th? Yeah, Friday was the 1st. So it's Monday, it's the 4th today, 4th of December. So this time next week, probably be back in Riberalta at a hotel. Or maybe on a flight, I don't know. I don't know if we leave on the Sunday or what, or the Monday. It's supposed to be so it's the 4th today. So the 7th is, we leave on the 10th, which is the Sunday, so that week yesterday. So maybe this time next week, depending on flights, I might actually be on a flight or at the airport. That's the plan anyway, because I'm not sticking around Riberalta, as I've said. Because the food is just terrible. It's just junk food everywhere. I don't know what that is, whether it's an insect or a berry. Well, it's pretty humid now, so I'm going to go back and have a shower. Put some shorts on. It was really sticky last night. It was amazing actually. We were all sitting around after the meal. Everyone was in pretty high spirits. So for those of us that had the uña di gatto, which means cat claw. So we're dieting cat claw, and some of us are dieting Bobinsana because she wanted me to go on Bobinsana as a heart opener, because I'm always in need of that because I'm such a fucking cold, miserable bastard. But I said I've dieted it twice. And when she said that cat claw is good for your immune system, I said, you know, can I try that? Because obviously that's going to help eczema, although I haven't had any since Copacabana, which is amazing. I'm really pleased about that. So I'm really hoping that that's finally cleared up after 2.5 years of plant medicine. this is the thing, when you've got a lot of trauma and a lot of bad issues, you know, all of these physical effects are symptoms of trauma that build and build exponentially over your lifetime. And, you know, they create these autoimmune type problems. Although, as I said before, I think personally eczema and asthma symptoms for quite a lot of people could well be due to vaccines in childhood. I have that suspicion. And in my case, it might also be linked to obviously stress, because you know, your cells mirror the overall stress of the organism in a holistic way. So it could actually, chemotherapy may have had something to do with that, having such an impact on blood for the 4 months that I took it, because it was very strong, obviously. And back in those days, it was the nasty stuff, you know, that had to kill like 1 cancer cell for every 1,000,000 cells in your body before it, you know, got rid of the cancer. There's a lot better treatments now, and that don't make your hair fall out and that sort of stuff. Oh, there he is. He's right here. Oh, don't go away. That's the big, well, he's not quite so electric, but that was, I don't know if you saw it. That was the big blue one. Or partly blue. But he didn't look that electric blue, actually. The other one was much more of a beautiful electric blue. So here we are back at the big tree. Is that the same one? Don't know. I think it is. So yeah, this is where I came first. I just came up the left path, which leads to that tree, and I didn't carry on round the opposite direction. So this should take us back to the actual start of the trail. And if not, I'm lost in the jungle and will never be seen again. Maybe they'll find my phone. So it's a nice walk. It's just long enough. It's not too long. Half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, something like that. More like, it depends how fast you walk, obviously, but you're not going to be walking very fast because of the heat. This tree's, this tree, although this is really down, it's dead, look, it's well dead. But these type of roots, like you see in mangoes, at Light Shipibo on the Jungle Walk, they have these ferns, and they're called walking trees. And Gino, the guide, is a very good friend of mine now. He's like my brother. I love Gino. He's such a great guy. We've got a lot of respect for each other. Because me, for my ayahuasca journey, and him being very close to the shamans, and he's got a degree in Amazonian biology. Those trees are called walking trees. Those sort of mango type vines, because they do actually walk very, very slowly. They will move meters over a period of however long, months or years or whatever, but they do actually move, which is really weird. So, or maybe it's just another South American story, who knows. So these look like banana plant leaves, but they've got the red flower. So I don't think these are banana plants. We have a banana plant on the way back to, I think I pointed them out in the other video. They're amazing. The banana leaves, when they get big, the leaves can be 2 meters long. And I've had experience with them in ceremony where when I was with Mara and Jana, the Czech Republic shamans in the Schwa tradition in Ecuador. Lovely people there, just amazing, lovely voices and instruments played in their ayahuasca ceremonies. They're also San Pedro shamans too, actually, but I didn't do San Pedro with them. But because of my back, I did a private ceremony with Mira. And the Cambo that I've got a video of, that was Mira giving me the Cambo in Ecuador. And he said for your back, he went and got some other plants, mixed them up, he chopped them up and whatnot, and it was really cold. Obviously, it's up more in the mountains up in Ecuador. Not really high up, but you know, there's still bush around, but it's cold at night. I don't like doing ceremonies in the cold. I just don't like the cold at all. So he cut this particular type of plant up, which is supposed to be really good for healing bones and muscles and stuff. And part of that ceremony, I had to take my top off when it was freezing cold, and then lie on these leaves that he laid on a banana leaf, and then he wrapped me up in a blanket, and I had to lie for the about half of that ceremony, or at least an hour, lie on these particular plant leaves that are very good for back or just bone injuries in general, and muscles and stuff. Because there is a banana plant that's just there. Actually, I think that right at the top. This is my cabin path here, and I think that's a banana tree there. So you can see the size of the leaves. They can grow to 2 meters long. Probably bigger. No, that's the same one again. The banana one's further down. So anyway, that's the end of that walk, which is there, and this is back to my cabin. So shower, get out of these clothes. It's too hot. It's a nice temperature though. It's not. It's probably, I don't know, 20, 26 maybe, I'd guess. I don't know, but it's quite humid, obviously, with all the rain. Thought I'd just finish the video off just to see if there's any frogs that have made it back up from the pipe. I've just checked it out, and there's where the toilet pipe goes across the ground, it's half buried, and there's a cesspit about 7 meters away. So the frogs must be getting into the cesspool, and then they're coming up through the pipe, because nearly every day I have little tree frogs. But the last one got flushed down back to the cesspool. One I've taken out. It's sort of outside yesterday. Another one I saw, but he was under the table over there, and I left him. So they come up through the. I've had about, well, if they're not the same ones that keep coming back, but I've had 6 in here. They're lovely little tree frogs, about this big, cute little eyes, really nice. And then the heron I saw was just there this morning. And moving his beak around, so I know it was a heron. I couldn't make it out when he was in the middle of the lake, so the lake can't be that deep. If he stood up in the middle, it must be a very, very shallow lake, only a foot or 2 deep. But he must be getting enough fish out of it to sustain himself. And that, children, is the end of the nature walk for today. Probably won't be filming. I might depends. I don't know. Depends. We'll see how I feel on the day of the walk. I might take the camera just to when we all go on the walk. You know, we're all on San Pedro, just to see how it affects some people. Some people get really uppy on it and full of beans. Last time I took it, I had just really nausea. Not nausea, just real building anxiety. Just all day, and it got stronger and stronger for 14, 15 hours. So I'm really curious about the next one, to see how it affects me this time.